This is actually a picture of the banner flying over the World Financial Center, which was, if the towers were here looking at Manhattan, the World Financial Building was directly next door. So if you want to take a look and pass that around so everybody can see it. In that picture, there's debris from the Trade Center and everything. When the towers fell, it fell down, but if you remember seeing the dust and everything, the dust just went everywhere. So I'm just going to read you real quick a little bit of history. This came from Engine 35, Ladder 14. They're the firehouse that had it. They were in Harlem. Okay. My name's Brian McGuire. I grew up on County Line Road, 2 houses in the city line. I went to Washington High School. In 1994, I was a junior member at Feasterville Firehouse, Station 1. Yeah, I became a firefighter interior for them, and I lived here until '99 when I moved up to New York City to join the fire department. I took the written test in New York City in '97, and I had about a 4-year wait, so I started in EMS. I worked in Brooklyn and in Staten Island until I waited for my list number to be called. And it took a few years. But unfortunately, 9/11 happened, and they lost a lot of members sick and injured. So they had to get a mass hiring off of that list. So lived here, went up there, started EMS. I switched over to the fire side in 2003, and I worked in Staten Island in a ladder company until 2006, where I went to work in Squad 18. We'll talk about the rest in a minute. So I'll tell you what happened to me. And all the dust, everybody remember when they said the dust was good to breathe? Yeah, they lied. So I have lung problems. Started in 2007, and the fire department doctor caught me in 2013. So I had to retire. But I'm happy to be here today. Seeing that made my night. So. Sorry. Shortly in the aftermath of September 11th, the officers and members of Engine 36 discussed the idea of erecting a banner at the World Trade Center site. After some discussion, the phrase "we will never forget" was decided. We reached out to a local sign company in our district, but were informed they did not make signs this big. So they put us in touch with a Master View sign company located in Manhattan. We contacted Master View and gave them the background on what we wanted. We weren't sure about the size, so we left it up to them to give us some prices and call us back when you had a quote. Later that day they called, and I was told the banner would be 6 feet high by 75 feet long, and that Master View is donating the banner for us to hang at the World Trade Center site. We now needed an unobstructed area to hang the banner, which was difficult to find due to all the damage and debris that was down at the Trade Center. The 10-story setback of the World Trade Center 3, also known as World Financial Center, was chosen, and with the help of a number of firefighters at that site, we ascended to our destination. The banner was hung that night, 9/21/2001. Sorry, I gave you the wrong date before. It would remain there until March of 2002, when it was removed to be repaired, and the banner was placed back until September of 2002. Upon that time, it was removed from the building and the banner went missing. I was detailed to the site for what will be the final recovery detail. This is one of the firemen speaking who wrote this, not me. On the first day of my detail on our lunch break, I went to World Trade Center 3, which was also the World Financial Building, and would try to find anyone might know what became of the banner when it was removed the first time to be cleaned. I was put in contact with the head of maintenance. He took me around the building looking for the banner or anyone who might have known what happened to it. To no avail, it was nowhere to be found. While taking down my name and number on a bulletin board next to his desk was a picture of the banner being held up by a number of workers as it was taken down to be repaired. I left feeling hopeful that someone in the picture would know what happened to the banner. The next morning, I received a phone call from one of the maintenance workers at World Trade Center number 3, World Financial Center, and he was one of the workers in the photo who was holding the banner as the picture was being taken that day. to be cleaned. Thankfully, at the end of the day, he went and dug through the dumpster to retrieve the banner, and he had it at his home. So it was going to be thrown out. Nobody really thought to keep it. Sorry, it's the first time I'm reading this too, so my apologies for a little blah, 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 blah. I told him that we would return the banner back and continue hanging it to the site after its cleaning, and he was more than happy to return it to us. The banner was rehung on the bathtub wall, then relocated to the scaffolding in front of the Deutsche Bank building, where it remained until 2002. 2007, the Deutsche Bank caught fire and killed 2 firemen. The Deutsche Bank was directly south of the tower, and if you looked at it in some very famous photos, the center of the building was taken out, and there was some steel I-beams that were sticking out through the building. Does anybody remember that fire? It was, the fire was in August 17th, 2007. Luckily we didn't lose more firefighters that day. 31 May days, 14 urgents for that fire. I was actually working. And what I can tell you is always pay attention to your surroundings. We walked in, it was reported that it was a little rubbish fire on the inside on the 16th floor, and we weren't paying attention. We walked in one door, out the other. Next thing you know, it was an asbestos abatement job, and the plastic had melted and all the smoke came, and it was lights out in a second, and we didn't even have our face pieces on, so we were scrounging just to breathe, and then that's when all the maydays came in for the first and second alarm units at that fire. So that was actually a pretty serious fire. We lost Joey Graffinino and Bobby Badilla from Engine 24, and then the officer ended up committing suicide because he lost his guys. He committed suicide about 3 months later. When we went to retrieve it, once again it was gone. Firefighter Tom Mundy and I scoured the area for over 2 hours of muddy debris looking for the banner. We started to dig with our hands, and we realized that we had found the banner. After an hour or so, we retrieved the banner from the mud, dirt, and debris, and the nickname that night was the Muddy Glory. It was brought back to Engine 36, hosed off, and hung on the apparatus floor wall. Unfortunately, May 25th, 2003, Engine 36, along with 4 other companies, were disbanded and closed. It was decided that the banner would reside at the quarters of Engine 35, Ladder 14, Battalion 12, which was 9 blocks away. Each year, the banner is displayed outside the quarters for the month of September. What they ended up doing is, because that was such a piece of history, they went out and they got their own banner, which is much smaller in the firehouse and actually fits. So they kept this and replaced it with a substitute banner because they didn't want to damage this banner anymore. Over the years, time and weather has taken its toll. The time has come for us to find a new permanent home, away from the elements, where it can be appreciated by generations to come, and to be held, and to help remind everyone that the sacrifices made that day. The members of Engine 35, Ladder 14, Battalion 12 graciously purchased a replacement banner to keep the tradition alive and hang in the firehouse for every month of September to show that we will never forget. And this was written by Bobby Brunone. He was a member of Engine 36. When he closed 36, he went to Engine 35. And then he transferred to Rescue 5, which is where I met him. I see your shirt back there, that's great. And so this was written by Bobby. He is, I guess, the historian for the banner. So, did everybody get a chance to see this photo? This is actually the World Financial Center. So this is actually, right after 9/11. So, thank you for doing that tonight. That was awesome.